Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about two important topics that are very related to language. So we are going to talk about grammar and syntax. So, have you ever think about how all elements of a language are organized? Yes, not? So the answer is they are organized because of something. So, for example, if I say I love to watch movies, what is there? There is something. There is a sentence, but this has something called grammar and syntax. And I want to explain that because it is important for everybody to know what grammar is and what syntax is. So let's begin. So, grammar. Grammar is the study of the classes of words, their inflections, and their functions and relations in the sentence. That's according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. But there are many concepts about grammar. So, for example, grammar includes sentences and some other elements. So, I can say grammar is the process of describing the structure of phrases or sentences or words. So that is grammar. When you see grammar, you will be learning about rules, you will be learning about structures. So, speaking of grammar, I want to give you two ideas. One is the prescriptive approach. So it tells people how to use the English language, what forms they should utilize, and what functions they should serve. That is according to the University of Oklahoma. So in this case, I can tell you this is the set of rules of grammar. So, but also we have the descriptive approach. So in this case, how the structures of grammar are used actually in a language. So it's the actual use of grammar. So for example, for the prescriptive approach, I give you this rule. Do not end a question without a question mark. I cannot say how are you without the question mark. That is very bad. But I can say how are you. If I leave the question mark there, it is okay. If I leave it without that, it's not good. So for the descriptive approach, if I say I am older than her, there could be variations but not incoherence. For example, I cannot say I have more age of years than her. So in this case, I'm sure I'm talking about the rule of the language because I know the language. So the descriptive approach is the actual use of the language, and the prescriptive approach is the set of rules to use the language. So, speaking of grammar, there are parts of a speech. So I want to give you a list. So in this case, we have verbs to be, to cry, to move, different verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, conjunctions, determiners, and prepositions. All of those are the parts of the speech. So you will be always using those. So you have to investigate all of them because I just want to give you the idea. So now we got an idea of grammar. So let's talk about syntax. So syntax is a little bit different from grammar. So syntax is the arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. This is according to the Oxford Dictionary. So the word syntax comes from Greek, which means putting together. So when you put something together, it means you organize those elements together. So in this case, we use this diagram, and this diagram is sometimes called the syntactic structure, or some people call it the diagram tree. So this same type of diagram is used for other things, but for language we use it like this way, and I want to explain you all of those elements you see in the diagram tree. So let's go to. So speaking about syntax, I want to talk about also the syntactic category before building a diagram tree. So the syntactic category is a set of words and phrases in a language which share a significant number of common characteristics. For example, as I told you before in grammar, the parts of the speech, determiners, adjectives, nouns, pronouns, prepositions, adverbs, auxiliaries, verbs, etc. Those elements we use it in the diagram we are going to build. So the syntactic category includes that. Also, the phrase structure grammars, the noun phrase, adjective phrase, verb phrase, adverb phrase, and preposition phrase. So, also the sentence. The sentence is the core of the structure, which means it will be on the head of everything. So let's see a little bit about the labels or symbols. So when we are talking about sentence, we use the S, and as you see in the following symbols, for noun is N, for article is art, for determiner is D, for verb is B, adjective, and as follow. But also we have the five types of phrases, as I told you before: the noun phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase, adverbial phrase, and adjective phrase. All of those you know already. For example, if I say the man or the White House, that is a noun phrase because I include the determiner, maybe an adjective, and a noun. So all of those three together are like a noun phrase. So let's build a tree diagram. For example, I have the lady loves white pants. That is the sentence. So first, the determiner is da. Then lady is a noun. So those two elements together are the noun phrase, the lady. So then we have the verb, that is loves. Then we have an adjective, which is white. And then another noun, which is pants. And also the noun phrase. So the noun phrase is the adjective and the noun together. Even they are in the predicate, those are noun phrase, okay? So, but also when we say loves white pants, that is a verb phrase because we include all the phrase of the predicate, which is loves white pants. So when we put together the noun phrase and the verb phrase, we have the sentence. That's the whole thing. So as a conclusion, and because we don't have a lot of time, I can tell you that grammar have different rules. The grammar have the parts of the speech and many things that you can learn. And syntax also has a lot of things to learn. I just told you one thing about the syntax. I was sharing just one part of the tree diagram. There are different ways to make tree diagrams, but that's what I can share with you. Thank you very much.